Oh, hey! Didn't see you there. I did. It's episode 4 of How to Be an Outsider, and we are spending time with young people, hence my playful attitude and joy. I've been an educator since I was 15, right? So 20 odd years out, working with youth, both in recreational and formal education spaces, and now I train teachers. And the whole thing that we miss a lot is, what do youth want? What do young people want, need, desire? What are the things that are driving them from their view? Well, here we are. It's the next episode of How to Be an Outsider, and I'm joined by a person that is almost a sort of full circle moment for me. So everyone in this podcast I have met through Revelstoke. That's this kind of whole story is about this community. And you were one of the first ever people that I met in Revelstoke when I started doing youth programming. You're now adult and not a small youth anymore, but you will get into that of how much you taught me through that. But Turi Duhamel, said it right, I'm good. Turi Duhamel, you are an amazing person, a massive part of this community, and I'm very excited for you to talk to me, share some youth perspectives on how to be an outsider. Could you just introduce yourself again and just have like a really quick sort of tell us who you are and what you're doing?
All right. I'm Turi Duhamel. I'm a very outdoorsy person in Revelstoke. I spend as much time as I can outside. I work with cadets as well, so that keeps me out and doing things, as well as work at a summer camp. So I'm outside pretty much all summer trying to just be me.
And being you is good. I really appreciate that. And I felt like when I first met you when you were young, so I was running a program with my now husband called Natural Leaders that was all about getting younger folks outside to learn sort of survival skills, nature skills. We ID'd mushrooms. We went on all these adventures, like in sometimes very inclement weather. And I felt that even then, you must have been 11, 10 maybe, somewhere between 9 and 11, right? And you were already like showing leadership qualities in that space. Firstly, because you taught me how to properly string a tarp when you don't have good eyelets or a good way to attach. Spoiler alert, you put a stone in the corner and tie around that, and then you use that. And I wonder, at that point you already had some experience in the outdoors, and where did that come from?
I think that mostly came from my family. We used to live in Jasper National Park, and so there we spent almost every weekend outside camping and just spending as much time as we could outside. And that over those times, just spending family time together in the wilderness, I built some foundation skills that have helped me kind of grow more with the outdoors.
And I've met both of your parents who, your dad came with us on some of the field trips, which, we were going on hikes with some quite intense drop-offs, and we went to that sort of raging waterfall area and we was hopping across rocks and things. Now my adult liability, or as I've moved more and more into sort of liability and things as a guide and things, I'm like, okay, we had some adventures for sure. Yeah. But your mum as well, and relationship with parks, have both communicated so much knowledge through their work and me and through you. And so I was really deeply grateful for that. I feel like you've already said that you've had a lot of experience being outside. So has that given you a sense of belonging that sort of was built into you? But and I see you out there. I've been ski touring with you. I don't need to see you at camp to know how well you're taking care of those younger people and what a mentor you are. But has there been times where maybe you haven't felt so comfortable and a sense of belonging?
There is for sure. Definitely when I'm out there learning new things and stuff, but I find I don't feel I belong as much in society, just because, I don't know, I'm a lot more of enjoying the view rather than being stuck inside walls with like technology. I'd just rather get out there.
We have that in common because I too, and we were discussing this with Scott, who's behind the camera today, and many of the people in my circle, and I think that's one of the things that I've loved about getting older. I didn't fit in at school because everyone wanted shiny things and I wanted to go for a walk in the forest and couldn't understand why people thought I was odd. And I've actually always been attracted or had connections more with the people that people think are odd or weird or different, and I've always seen that as like a strength and a power. But it gets more and more comfortable as you get older and you sort of find your people and the people that get you and understand you. And now we're people that camp, we're people that hike, we're people that, if we have potlucks or dinner with friends, there's no phones allowed, right? People are not sat in the corner scrolling, which I see in different social spaces, right? And especially with younger folk where that phone or that piece of technology has become an extension of who you are, and there's a lot of communication there. So I really respect that, following your path and knowing what you want. And what are the best bits for you about being outside, like whether you're camp leadership or doing cadets, or what's the best bit?
I think the best bit is just like going out and exploring, finding new things, learning more about my surroundings, because a lot of the time, like, I know a lot about what happens at the school. I'm here every day, so when I get out and try new things, it's a lot better. I'm just, I don't know, it's just a happier feeling being out enduring nature rather than stuck in a town.
Yeah, I mean, I wandered for like a decade just because I found like densely populated areas quite distressing. And when I go back to the city now, I'm sort of, everything's like stimulating. It's too stimulated. I'm overloaded. And that might be that I'm neurodiverse. It might just be that that's how my life was meant to be structured, and it's not a mistake that I've ended up in this place. But I feel like we have access to it here, but we still get sucked into modern life and centered in around things that are more external than internal. So as part of that, I mean, you sail, you have so many different skills outside. Are you planning to take them with you into like the work world, or like, do you have big plans, or are you just kind of going with the flow?
So a lot of my plan is I'm building a bus camper and workshop right now. So I want to kind of travel and then work from the back of my bus and build things so I can make money while I'm traveling. But I want to be able to utilize my skills to go wherever I can, find places that some people can't get to because they don't have the skills to be able to get back there. I want to be able to explore wherever I possibly can.
I love that. I have one of your beautiful chopping boards at home. I feel like maybe I was one of your first purchases. I don't know. I think so. Yeah. So hopefully, maybe by the time this is published, you'll have a website and we can link to it and people can buy things from it, maybe. Or on the road, I remember I met a guy in the Yukon who was selling these incredible knives that had horn or bone, and the handles, and then it was this type of steel where they take steel and then they layer it and layer it and layer it. I can't remember.
Damascus steel.
Damascus steel. Of course, of course. That's great. Thank you. I love being educated. It's amazing. This is intergenerational learning. That's it. And it's the most beautiful knife. I bought a small pocket one that I use for sort of like mushroom foraging, and then a big sort of Bowie style. Yeah. And I think he was doing quite well from the side of the road trade. So that sounds like a pretty amazing thing. I very much appreciated having a body, mind and skill set that allowed me to explore more. And that has deepened in this space. But, you know, I spent a decade with a backpack and just got traveling around the world. And it was such an enriching experience. One of the things that my dad says to me is, oh my goodness, you've traveled the world, and not just like on a vacation, right? You've gone and seen places, or different provinces here are like different countries. He said to me, the sort of bravery it takes to go into spaces where you don't know anyone, where there's new environments to manage, is really big and brave. Do you feel nervous about going out into the world?
Definitely a little bit, but a lot of it I find nice, because if you're exploring an area or if you're in an area where you know people and people kind of have this idea of you or this thought like about you or an already stereotype. Whereas if you go to a new place, I find you can just meet new people and express who you are, and not through what other people think of you. Definitely you meet new people, you explain to them how you truly are, not through the eyes of other people.
That's a huge thing. I went through that. I got stereotyped a lot in like my school years as being like too loud, too much, show off, all these things. And I now do a job where I basically provide training to like thousands of people either on a screen or in person, and it's all about presenting, it's all about engaging people. And I'm here doing this project because I have the confidence to talk to people and feel okay with that going out into the world. And yeah, for me it was to go to university, to get out of my hometown and go and find new people. And I did a geography degree, right, which is what took me to Iceland. It's what took me up into the wilds of Scotland. It's where I met my husband, so that was quite nice. And I just think that it's okay to be scared. There's a bunch of work in psychology right now that's talking about that our world that we've created, we've kind of taken away a lot of the like friction or difficult things. Everything drive through, everything, and I use it too. We all use it. AI, right? I need an answer to a question. I don't have to go to a library and look at 12 books. Like even when I was at university, we had the internet was a thing, of course, but not all papers were published. So we had to go to a library, search through a book, find a physical reference. And so for me, like this idea of you having all these skills to build your bus, which you're learning a bunch, right? On top of what you already have, and traveling, and like the friction of, do I need to do mechanical work? Do I know people? I don't know people. I'm going out. I think that's so exciting. And I happen to believe that there's, like if you have like a bullseye with your comfort zone and then a concentric circle outside of it, outside of your comfort zone, that like the magic happens when you step outside. And is there anything that you're really specifically, is there a place or a part of the wilderness that's really drawing you in?
I think the ocean is definitely a huge one. There's just so much diversity in the ocean, as well as along the coastal line. Like the West Coast just has dense, huge forests, and then vast ocean that's full of life. Like you could fully sustain yourself easily living out there, with food-wise and stuff. So I find the ocean draws me a lot, but there's definitely some places I want to travel to as well that draw me for other reasons. So.
Well, this country and the nature here is so diverse. I mean, it's unreal, really. And even if we drive a couple of hours south, we're in that sort of brushy, almost sort of semi-arid desert type, and then the west coast forests, like the coastal rainforest, and we're in the inland temperate rainforest here, the only one of its, or the largest of its type in the world. I learned at uni in my geography that 97% of the world's population live within 100 kilometres of the coast because of that food, because of those resources. And I also have a healthy respect and fear of the ocean. I have tried surfing in many places now, and I mostly paddle and fear for my life. But I don't know if that's part of your journey, but or whether you like to be in a boat on top of it mostly. But the ocean is very, very exciting. And being inland here, like not, being hours and hours away from salt water, I think that's a very exciting thing for me too, if I was road tripping now. As you do this growing up thing, you're 17, you're going to finish high school and then go on adventures and do things that fulfill you. I know that your parents are really outdoorsy people, but how do they feel, if you don't mind me sharing, but how do they feel about your ideas and your desires to go on adventures?
I think they're on board a lot. My parents were definitely very adventurous. They traveled a lot. My mom, she never spent usually more than 5 years in a place at a time. So this is the longest we've actually lived anywhere. But yeah, definitely, I think they're definitely on board with it. Travel, go explore, and should learn as much as I can. My dad didn't travel as much when he was younger, so he hasn't explored a lot of the world, and he regrets that. He wishes he did more. So I want to go explore.
I love that for you. My parents didn't have the opportunity to travel until much later as well, like through sort of access to that sort of stuff, financially and things, and just opportunity. And so when I wanted to go, they were super stoked. Also, like, incredibly nervous about me going into the world. They were super happy that I was traveling with someone to have a buddy and like have that sort of support. But it's an interesting thing. I don't have any children, but I have worked with, coached, taught. Someone said to me once, "Oh, you have thousands of children," and that's how it feels in my heart anyway. Like, I care about all of the young people that I've connected to, and they've helped shape who I am as a person. And actually, it was that first sense of belonging in this community because I was running youth programming. So you meet kids, you meet parents from all across different areas of the community, and that was very important to me. But I didn't know what that would look like. To settle down in a place, because I hadn't lived anywhere for more than 18 months. It was just moving, and finding a sense of belonging here has been super important, and it definitely, I think, made my parents feel a bit more relaxed when I finally settled down and I found a spot to be. Do you have an end goal for your travels and for the next, I don't know how many years? Like, do you have a plan for how long you're going to move, or you're just going to play it by ear?
I think for now I'm going to play it by ear, but eventually I want to build my own cabin on an ocean front somewhere, and then try and be as self-sufficient as possible, as disconnected from the grid as possible. Okay. Kind of just out in the middle of nowhere, living my best life.
Oh, that's so cool.
But yeah, beforehand, I'm definitely going to travel. There's some schooling I want to do. There's a blacksmith and welding art program that I want to go to. And I also, with my cadet background, military is still thinking about it. There's a couple different good programs in there, but we'll see.
I don't really know anything about the cadets. Can you explain a little bit about what you do and what that has meant?
So with cadets, a lot of it is getting youth outside and preparing them for adulthood and leadership skills. So we do a lot of like camping and survival skills and just basic like life skills that you need to go into the real world. And it's definitely helped me grow a lot and build some leadership skills for sure.
Well, when I hosted a conference here for teachers, for educators in 2022, you were one of my keynote speakers. And that is very scary. It was very scary for the people that were paying for the conference. I was going to say the organisers who were holding the purse strings, I should say. Not that they didn't believe it, but that it wasn't actually super being done. It was quite sort of standard that time for you to have a professor or someone very high up in the education world to be a sort of big name who would open the conference, and we'd have these things. And I said, well, I wanted to do it. It was my first ever conference I'd organised. I do them quite frequently now. And this one was the Classrooms to Communities, and I worked with Take Me Outside and the Outdoor Learning School and Store to do a national outdoor learning conference. But when I talked to the people, I said, okay, this is for teachers, this is for educators, and it's all about youth. That's who they're teaching, that's who they're supporting and uplifting. So shouldn't we actually hear what matters to them? And it was so powerful. I mean, you made me cry for sure. I actually don't think there was a dry eye in the house of like 300 people, which I think is powerful. Like I think in a world of emojis and texting, it's great to see real humanity and a bit of emotion that's very powerful. And I knew even when like I said, when you were very young, that you had this leadership skills, but having access to programming like that, to build those and come into that has got to be great, because I feel like there are other 17-year-olds that I wouldn't say had reached that level yet.
There's definitely a few that haven't reached that level. I've just even noticed that my maturity level can be a lot more than others at times. I'm like, what are they doing?
I felt that a lot. I always used to have adult friends, like when I was young, or I would have conversations with them because I felt like they actually had something to share with me and contribute. I do believe that everyone we meet has something to teach us, whether it's what not to do, perhaps, or something. But I recognise that in myself, a sense of belonging and becoming an outsider has led me to people who have also matured in different ways. Because to go out on your sailing boat solo, or to take leadership of young people in potentially dangerous environments, it takes a lot of courage. And I believe that my time outside has given me that. So I don't know if I ever really shared this with you, but we didn't camp or do anything outdoorsy growing up. My first time camping was when I was 18 and we went on a field trip to Scotland. I had to buy all the gear. And when I saw the sort of large tents that we would be sleeping in, I was, is that where we're staying? And they were like, yeah. And they were actually like quite like double wall tents, like super nice. And I was really uncomfortable. And my mum, bless her, she didn't like dirt a lot, so we were like quite tidy children. And I now work with kids who are like, I can't get my pants dirty, right? So this is why we send letters home saying, okay, Wild Wednesdays, we're going outside, wear the pants you don't mind getting dirty. But anywho, so I was really uncomfortable and I didn't actually like it. And it took years of spending time in that space, exposing myself, exposure therapy, until it became now where I'm at my happiest, waking up with no electricity outside, with the sound of nature around me. And do you feel that is growing more and more for you as you get older, that this deep connection to those things gets stronger?
Absolutely. Whenever I'm out camping, I turn off my phone, and the best thing is just waking up to the sun and the birds, and it makes me, it's my happy place. I'd rather wake up there than anywhere else, whether it's hammock camping or just a mat on the ground. I love being outside.
You are braver than me. The hammock, I like to be enclosed. I do like a barrier. I think actually Scott had a real interesting experience with camping, and I'm trying not to look at him because it throws off the video. But where he was camping and I think a grizzly was outside their tent just huffing and giving it large, as we would say in England. And that does not fill me with joy. I really like having my little dog. I don't know if you've met Otis. Well, in passing, maybe, but my little Jack Russell Terrier. So we were camping, we were doing a 90k through Mystic Pass in Banff National Park. multi-day backpacking trip, and he was with us, and we're camped at one of the sites, and this German couple, you have to book them like 7 months in advance, right, to get these backcountry camp spots. There's only 6 of them out there, and this one we'd hiked 22 kilometers, right, to get to this from the sort of trailhead, and there was one closer to the trailhead that we hadn't camped at, because we were like, we can do 20 on the first day, we'll be fresh legs, it's good. These lovely young German couple came up, and they were like, is it okay if we stay here, because we were booked at the other one, but there's a huge grizzly that's guarding, and he's guarding the kitchen, which they put away from the camp pads, right? But they were like, he was moving between them. We tried to make noise, we tried to leave and come back, and he still just won't go. And we said, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be booked. It's like peak summer hiking season. I was like, but you can share our pad, and like you could fit 2 tents on it, we're good. And Otis is on a leash because it's national parks. And in the morning we're at the kitchen, and he's on a big long line. I have a really fine like biothane plastic line for him, so that he can be a bit free and beg bacon off of, or snacks off of whoever is at the kitchen, and they seem to love him. But he's only about this big, right? And we hear this sort of like trumping, sort of crumpling noise through the forest. And Otis just, honestly, the noise that came out of him, I've never heard it before. Like he was a tiger, just wah. I'm going to try not to do this into the microphone, just wah, wah, wah. And he's on the line, right, just doing sort of a horizontal thing into the bush. And we see this massive bear face look at him, go, nah, and just ran away. Deep into the bush. Like you could hear him go, and he's gone. And like everyone at camp just looked at each other and then just cheered. And it was like amazing, and he was like the hero. And everybody, a Parks Canada worker came, because there were so many reports people were sending back, and they said that bear has been haunting this stretch of trail between these 2 camps for a week, and we were going to have to do something quite serious, and Otis saved the day. So I was pretty proud of him, and he makes me feel safe out there, and he makes me feel like I belong, because he is paying attention, and when I slow down and pay attention with him, I feel like I notice stuff, I find stuff. And you said that you're going to travel with your dog. Is your dog a big part of your adventures now?
Yeah, my dog is definitely a huge part of my adventures. And I get that feeling, like, I will say, hammock camping alone is terrifying.
Okay. Thanks for being.
Because there is no protection. But even if you're with a small group or have your dog with you, I'd feel so much safer, because I know my dog he'll try his best to scare away anything that comes at us. So I feel a bit safer with him, for sure. But yeah, so I recently got a dog from SPCA, or I guess about a year ago now, and yeah, he's kind of become my best friend. So he's coming with me.
That's so nice. Otis is definitely my best friend, and I'm quite social. I like people, but I spend a lot of time just me and him walking in the forest or doing solo hikes and things, and he's been really good for my mental health, because I have this buddy, and I work from home now in an office, and while I'm meeting people, often on screens, which is ironic because I'm teaching about outdoor learning, but we can reach more people through the screens, he's just always there, as a companion, and you never come home and are not welcomed with, oh my God, you're back, this is the best thing ever, I love you, and doing bows and all that sort of stuff. So that's a really beautiful thing to share. As we kind of meander towards closing-ish, is there anything you want to say for young people, or perhaps people, adults or parents are watching this and they've got younger kids, younger than 17, let's say, anywhere? Is there anything that you want to share that as a young person coming up through this outsiderness, this belonging in the outdoors, is there anything you want to say to them or share with them about what you know, what you've learned, or what you, might recommend?
There's definitely a few things. One would be, like, if you don't feel that you belong, you will find your group for sure. With friends especially, it can be hard. Especially when you're trapped in a smaller school, there's not as many people. But as you grow through learning and stuff, you'll figure out who your people are, and then once you have your group of people, just do as much as you can with them. Just spending time outside with your friends and family can definitely be a huge impact and really fuel your relationship. But if you're scared of the outdoors or you're nervous, just go out with a group of people and get used to it. Over time, you'll learn to love it and realize there's much more to the outdoors than just or much more to life than being stuck at home or in civilization. The outdoors can be a beautiful place to find yourself.
I appreciate you so much. You make me feel all the feelings. Just to the level of maturity and knowledge that you have to share with the world is phenomenal. And I'm incredibly proud to know you as a person. This community is so lucky to have you. And when you go out and you show that kindness to people who maybe haven't found their people yet, when you're welcoming them in, that is priceless. Because, the other thing with that technology is that it's run by algorithms, right, that feed your point of view that you already have. So it's this confirmation bias. So if you, and especially as a young male, right, you are getting messages of some dark and stormy things. They've shown online that you get shown violence, and particularly against women, like very quickly if you are identified by internet information as being young male. And then also you just get shown the same things over and over again that really connect you into that, and then people lean deep into ideas. And when you go outside, there's nobody judging. There's nobody, I don't know, maybe I've actually felt judged by squirrels once or twice, like they're watching. But there is this capacity for space and time to be yourself and not worry. And even when it's before your time, but like MSN had just come in, and like the cyberbullying, the messaging, because you weren't face to face with people. I mean, people were mean face to face as well, but it was worse because I couldn't escape it. It was everywhere. And then as I've grown through life, and I've found just such good friends, and I've lovely family as well, but they're quite distant in physical distance, I should say. But to find beautiful friends that support you, that appreciate you, your skill set, and they just take care of you is magical. And that, chosen family is a huge sense of belonging for me. I really appreciate you chatting with me. I see a strength and a power in you that is going to go to all kinds of places and make all kinds of impacts, and I'm so proud. I'm going to be like, I knew Turi when he was a kid, and then you're going to be ruling the world. Is there anything you want to say before we close here?
Just be patient is the one thing. Is people will find, you will find your people, you will find your place. It does take time, but once you find it, you'll be happy for sure. And thank you, Jade. You have brought a lot of outdoor knowledge to me through your courses, whether it be rock climbing, or I think I did river kayaking with you too. But yeah, definitely amazing. Thank you, Jade.
Thank you, Turi.